With that down, let's jump into main topic number 2. And our second main topic today gets submitted to us by Aaron Miller, who writes, "Hey, John, I'm a big Harry Potter fan, and even though they haven't been as good as the main movies, I have enjoyed the Fantastic Beasts films for what they are. Did you see the comments from Dan Fogler saying that the next movie has a huge war scene? This is something I've really been waiting for in the Potter universe. How big and grand do you think it could end up being? Could it top the Portals battle in Endgame? Thanks." All right. Thanks a lot for sending that in, man. And yes, listen, one of the things you must never, never underestimate is both the size and the passion of Harry Potter fans. You must never underestimate that. And if you ever need even the slightest reminder, just go to a Universal's park. Because whenever I go to like we got Universal Studios Hollywood 10 minutes up the street, 15 minutes up the street from us. So Ann and I, when it's open, we have annual passes. We go there. It is always filled with people in their damn robes. Their damn, what's the name of the school again? Hogwarts? Hogwarts robes. From the littlest of children to the biggest of adults, walking around in those damn robes. Never, ever, ever, ever underestimate the size and passion of that fan group. It's immense. Also, when you're talking about something like wizards and warlocks and things for that, that does kind of lend itself to the idea of seeing some big, grand, epic, magical battles, which, by the way, we haven't seen a lot of in movies in all of movie history. I mean, we've seen a lot of military battles. We've seen a lot of superhero battles. But like grand wizards, witches, and warlock battles, that's not something we've seen a lot of. And maybe we're going to be getting that in the new Fantastic Beasts, according to Dan Fogler, because he said the following. "I can say I read the script getting ready for the third Fantastic Beasts film. I read the script and the character development is really lovely, and it's very similar to the feel of the first movie, which I think is great. It's leading towards this massive war with the backdrop of World War II. So you can just imagine epic battle scenes are coming." Rob, I could see that there would be some people who would hear that and think, well, wait a minute. Big epic war scenes is not what Harry Potter is about. You know, big epic war scenes. And I can already hear people saying that. My response to that would be, since when is every movie supposed to be just like the last one that came before it? And you want to, as you're progressing in new stories, to kind of broaden the world. And they've done that by going back to a different period of time and all that kind of stuff. And I just think, listen, in the world Harry Potter is set up, to me, it would only make sense with all these forces of good and evil and all this mythology goes back. To me, it is consistent with the Harry Potter universe to say at some point there were massive confrontations between the forces of good and evil. It just seems to make sense. I think that fits in that world. And the longer you go without it, it kind of feels odd that you don't have it. So I think this sounds exciting. Now, is this them just trying to capture a little bit on the big action spectacle of it all, like a lot of other movies? Probably, but I also think it fits in narratively. So I'm not a Potterhead, but mark me down as somebody who's looking forward to it. Rob, you hear about this. What do you think?
Dude, can you imagine, like, let's say some huge conflagration happens between wizards and warlocks during the London Blitz. So, you know, you've got Nazi planes dropping bombs on London, and at the same time, this massive, when people are cowering, fearing for their lives, who knows the difference between a Nazi bomb and an explosion of arcane energy somewhere? I mean, I would love to see columns of armor in the midst of wizard battles. I mean, come on. World War II mixed with, who knows what's going to happen? But if they say the background of World War II, I can't even imagine. Like, what happens if they're invading Normandy and there's just giant wizard battle going on, you know, and no one knows. Like, you have the Allied troops going, what the hell's going on over here? I don't know, man, but people are fighting. I mean, it would be so cool. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I'm in. Count me in. Now, World War II and wizards? Come on, man.
I love the way you just painted that picture, by the way. Like, imagine wizarding battles going on as World War II is happening right behind them in the midst.
That's the way you could actually have this stuff spilling out into the real world, because who's going to know what bombs are dropping? You know, I mean, you've got the Sinister and you're going, what the hell are those dudes or chicks or whatever, monsters, whatever it is. They're playing Quidditch, but with real weapons and bombs. And I mean, to me, the whole idea of it during World War II just puts a big smile on my imagination, John. Bring it on.
All right, now the person asking the question, understandably, because right now kind of the standard for us at the moment is the notion of the Portals battle. That's kind of become, that or the Wakandan battle in Infinity War is so bloody good. But right now everybody thinks Portals battle. Is it getting a little ambitious for some fans, like the person who sent in the message to ask, can it top the Portals battle? Or could something like this actually have the potential to do something like that?
Well, I mean, you know, the Portals battle is having all those superheroes in one place was pretty amazing. But I mean, what if it is conceivable that somebody who is a graduate of Hogwarts was fighting with the Allied forces, leading the troops, so to speak.
This is true.
And it has to muster up some, I mean, you got Winston Churchill giving his speeches, and then why wouldn't the British end somehow, why couldn't they muster magical forces and bring them on their side? And what if you had some amazing battle like that? I don't know if it's going to be the size of the Portals because it's just a different thing. But man, if you could have columns of armor and planes in the middle of flying wizards and arcane energy and you see it all. I mean, can you imagine aerial combat? But instead of just planes like Stuka's going after Spitfires, you've got flying wizards, you know, casting spells. It could be epic.
I have never been more excited for a Harry Potter movie than you just made me. I've never been more excited for a Harry Potter universe movie than what you just made me. I'm actually getting, damn, that would be actually really cool.
Wouldn't it be rad? I mean, can you imagine Dunkirk? But that aerial battle in Dunkirk, but with wizards. I mean, I know in Dunkirk it was Tom Hardy and a couple other dudes in planes, but imagine like 150 planes and wizards.
That would be,
come on,
intense, guys. Question is, look, and I don't know. For all I know, maybe some hardcore Harry Potter purists are thinking that's not Harry Potter, and maybe there is some of that, and maybe there's room for that. But I know, guys, you hear about this. Does it pique your interest for a third one? I know I kind of like these Fantastic Beasts movie, even though I'm not a hardcore Potterhead or anything. But what are you thinking about this? Jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. All right.